Women's doubles, round of 16 match here of Guyana, Mary Fungaya Fat against, with Ashley Khalil, playing against New Zealand's Joel King and Amanda Landers-Murphy. So another optimal combination you see there as the New Zealand's get into their warm-up. Landers-Murphy, 31 years of age, now retired from the PSA Tour. Lefty. No doubt they will have done a fair bit of work specifically for doubles here heading into this event. It's so important for New Zealand for funding and to keep that funding going, to get medals here at these games. And obviously with Paul Cole winning the gold, that is going to go a long way to serving that purpose. Joelle King very, very disappointed obviously with her 4th place position, losing out 14-12 on the 5th yesterday in the bronze match against Sarah Jane Perry.
The two teams warm up separately on the extended court. You can see
Joelle King, 33 years of age, certainly looked very war-weary out there in the singles, and definitely going to ask on comms here. Laura Massaro has a lot to do with Joelle King. She's fighting all sorts of little niggles at the moment, but she's certainly going to push through that with medals on the line here in the women's doubles and with Paul Cole in the mixed. Certainly going to test her mental fortitude. Keep going throughout this event. The red hot Chalacy Peppers with Abby Palmer and the two coaches, Paul Hornsby and Glenn Wilson. Glenn Wilson, 2 medals at the Games, 1 bronze, 98, and then a gold in 2002. As the New Zealanders head off and the Guyanans come in, I'd like to welcome again Laura Massaro.
Thanks, Johnny. Good to be here, yeah. Really disappointing for King yesterday and the day before in the semi-final, so she's got to try and regroup. Looked like she was just struggling a little bit towards the end of that match in the bronze medal playoff, so I spoke to her. She's been having all of the recovery, all of the treatment from the New Zealand staff, helping the athletes in the village, so she'll be looking to warm that body back up.
Fungaya Fat had doubles experience in 2018 on the Gold Coast. She's the only one of the two here in this pair that have had that kind of experience. So it will be interesting to see if the New Zealanders direct perhaps more traffic over to the less experienced one. And that's Ashley Khalil, first time representing Guyana at the Games here in the doubles, 29 years of age. So from an age perspective, she's got a certain level of experience, but we don't have a lot of background knowledge on her, having not been at a Games before. Just give us a quick insight as to how the New Zealanders like to play. I'll just mention the referees there first. Peter Hindmarsh, the main referee, supported by Jason Foster as the video referee, and the marker is Philip Ree. How do the New Zealanders like to play? You played them in the gold medal match in 2010 with Jenny Duncalf. What's their style?
Yeah, that was quite a different pairings. Obviously, King always playing on the forehand side. She's got a big forehand. Jenny and myself lost to King and Hawkes for that gold medal in Delhi. Landers-Murphy on the left-hand side, a very different player to Jacqueline Hawkes. Big lefty, as we just saw in the previous match with Lobban. And, you know, when I've spoken to King about it, she's so confident in Landers on that left-hand wall to hit outright winners, just as Lobban did. So there is no weak link here, although on paper and on rankings, you would think there was in Landers-Murphy.
So we're into this women's doubles round of 16 of Guyana, Funga Fat and Khalil up against the New Zealand pairing of Joel King and Amanda Landers-Murphy.
They will start in 30 seconds. Seconds.
Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games, women's doubles round of 16. New Zealand to serve, Guyana to receive, best of 3 games, love all.
So King gets things going in this round of 16 women's doubles match. Strong right on cue, the trickle boast, which is the shot that's being utilised so often already throughout the day. In all the matches, and Landers-Murphy is opening up her array of attacks there already with a straight kill.
Yeah, even on the singles tour, Landers-Murphy was very much a confidence player. One of the best in the world. Doubles. Singles just struggled a little bit, obviously the tin a little bit higher, and she retired after the Gold Coast last time out, and retired for 2 years before starting to get back into a bit of squash and ready for this pairing. So they've been preparing for a long time, funded but part-time working. And the other thing to mention with this Kiwi pair is just how close they are. Best friends away from the court, speak every day. When King's in Bristol and Landers-Murphy back in New Zealand, they speak, and that sort of stuff makes a huge difference when you're about to play doubles together.
Yeah, you can't buy that sort of familiarity in a pairing. There's no doubt that that is an added bonus. Just the understanding, like you say. Almost like there's an inbuilt radar on the court. They both know what's going on at critical moments, what the other one might be thinking, how they might be wanting the patterns of play to unfold.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just noticed sort of the body language as they both came on. King, you know, hardly looking really at Landers-Murphy, getting on with her own preparation, vice versa. And I think if you're a little bit more of an inexperienced pair, or perhaps you don't know each other as well, there's a tendency to almost get too carried away with looking after the other person. But when you know each other so well, you just can look after yourself, come together when you need to. But I think it's a huge bonus for the Kiwi pair, not just in this match, but for the whole event.
Yeah, that seems to just, out of all that, what you're just saying, like just an inbuilt trust, really, about what the other one is going to be able to do, and I don't even have to worry about it, really.
Down. 3-7.
So the Guyanans just finding a way to nibble away at the scoreboard finally and relieve some pressure until Landers-Murphy unleashes another
8-3.
big blow with that forehand left side of hers. Is very, very strong.
No let.
We've seen those given already today, Laura, and that line is quite clear from the referees, quite hard as well. If they feel that players are sort of looking for a cheapish let, they're just not giving it. Oh, that's very, very high quality boast, volley boast, but it was more like a volley trickle boast.
Nada, 11-3.
Landers-Murphy really doing the bulk of the work there in terms of hitting winners. Joel King doing her part, solid as a rock as always, but just having the luxury of knowing Landers-Murphy's just taking care of things on the left-hand side. 11-3, cut through them very quickly. New Zealanders cruising.
Well, that first game really was just completely dominated by the Kiwi pair, starting out really well. Landers Murphy first outing on the show court, having not played the singles, and she did not look like it was her first time on there, doing the bulk of the work in terms of winners, and maybe the Guyanan pair trying to hit to her thinking she was a weak link. But for anyone who's seen this pairing play before, they know that it's Landers Murphy that's got the firepower in terms of raw out power and outright winners down that left-hand side. It's nothing better than settling down and taking that first game so comfortably.
New Zealand mean business in this women's doubles round of 16 game. 4 minutes on that first game, they win it 11-3 and lead Guyana 1 game to go.
New Zealand lead 1 game to love. Love all.
Well, the New Zealanders kick it off again, and all players were standing in positions keen to get going very early there.
Down 1 love.
So those opportunities that the Guyanans have seen to perhaps have a look at a shot.
And this female Guyanan team have got, you know, some good role models to look up to. Nicolette Fernandez playing for Guyana in the singles in Glasgow, I know because I played her. And she was feisty, and she did really well on the PSA World Tour from such a small nation. And these women have surely got to be able to look up to her and know what's possible.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of the, especially Australia, they've found a way to keep their ageing retired players in the game, especially at the doubles level. What's happened with Fernandez that the Guyanans have not been able to do that?
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I wondered whether or not Fernandez would make an outing, particularly in the doubles. Maybe she's just, had a chance at, gave it her all. She was very much a committed, dedicated player.
3-1.
And if you're not fully in it, it's hard to drag it out for the doubles, but hopefully they can look up to her.
4-1.
Well, Khalil is just seeing none of those trickle boasts. She's left absolutely standing in her tracks every time. That ball was a good squeeze, though, just forcing an error. Just got a bit exposed there, King, and that was a very laboured movement as well. I have to point that out, Laura. She wasn't able to lunge into that very powerfully like you'd expect, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, she's had a really heavy singles schedule. 5-setter in the quarters, 4-setter in the semis, and another 5-setter in the bronze medal. So she'll be trying to do her best to use this as a bit of a recovery day, hoping that she can get away without moving too much.
Yes, let 5-3.
Just opting for a cross-court kill there. We've been seeing it just constantly using the trickle boast, but it's probably good for Landers Murphy just to open up that toolkit there around the front, because, like you said, she's the more attacking player in that combination. So in this match, I think she can afford to even perhaps make a few unforced errors. That one just catches her on the body. Having said that, the Guyanans are back to 5-all here. Don't really know how.
Yeah, there's been a couple of sloppy errors from Landers, sluggish movement from King a couple of times. Well, that's a great response, isn't it? And it's so hard to keep your concentration in doubles. You just take your eye off the ball or drop your concentration for a split second, and 3 rallies can go by on that 13-inch tin.
Yes, let.
Yes, let 6-5.
not just that, but even at this level, a little frame on the racket, or it's a great shot.
Well, that's exactly what I meant.
A video referee, please check.
Having a look at it, though.
Oh, it's front ball. Sorry, correction. Sorry.
Can't check.
Yes, we're unsure.
Oh, this is what I was saying in the match previous. Surely they can have a look at this on the replay.
Yes, let.
Very fair from the New Zealanders. They've said let's play a let. They're not sure themselves.
Please play a let.
It was good. I thought it was good in real time.
There is clear video evidence that it was up. Point to New Zealand.
That's been handled exactly what you called in the last match. The video ref has stepped in, taken control, and then sort of got to the right outcome, which is great to see. So 7-5 for the New Zealanders.
Down.
It's brilliant, isn't it, Johnny, to be able to use the technology when it's there. I know we can't always cover the tin with the cameras, but when it is there, it's great to not have to replay those points.
Yeah, I like that about Landers Murphy. She'd made the mistake on that cross-court kill previously as King. Oh, she just gets it up the Guyanan. They're under enormous pressure now as the New Zealanders have just starting to be a bit more steady in their play, but some handiwork from Khalil here, just catching Landers Murphy out. Didn't have the reflex to deal with that ball.
Down. Hand out. 9-6.
But the directive of the New Zealanders seems to be quite clear that King likes to get the ball quickly onto that left-hand side with a deep ball, get Landers Murphy in front, and then let her use her attacking skills. King is still definitely just... She'll need a day or two just to really be hitting her straps, I feel here, Laura. And the fact that this is not as physical, hopefully that will give her a chance to just get her systems feeling a bit better as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a different story when it's mixed and it's King that's hitting the majority of the balls. But right now for the women's doubles, I mean, her personality, presence, ranking, experience is enough down that right-hand wall.
New Zealanders have just put that to bed, finally. A little bit tricky in that game. Never really in danger, but I certainly wouldn't have expected perhaps an 11-8 scoreline. Credit to the Guyanans for fighting it out all the way. They threw everything at the Kiwis, showed a good account of themselves, and they would be pretty happy with that, I would say. I see this a lot, Laura, which is a great thing. Obviously for Guyana, it's a big moment on court with Joel King, a legend of the game. Landers Murphy, a gold medalist with her. So the lesser-known nations, they love to get in there and get those photos.
And through to the quarters, it is your defending champions, New Zealand.
So in the round of 16 match, King and Landers Murphy see their way through into the quarterfinals, 11-3, 11-8.